G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, you are here today because Super Rugby is heading into the elimination rounds. We're about 3 weeks away to the finish of the regular season. And yeah, we're fighting for a spot to the top 6. And Hurricanes just hanging on to the 6th position on the ladder. And this was a really important game for the Hurricanes at home in front of the home crowd. And they almost lost this one. Yeah, this was a bit too close to the comfort. The Highlanders came out, played a pretty similar style to the Hurricanes. Highlanders, I think, probably had a bit better game management in terms of the kicking game. And the Hurricanes played maybe a little bit too loose, a little bit too flashy, and just wasn't able to pay out for them. The follow-up from some of those, I guess, advantage-gaining runs just didn't quite follow up and leading into some turnovers in crucial moments for the Highlanders. And yeah, I thought the Highlanders had this one won with goal kicking. You know, I hate goal kicking, especially if teams are starting to, try to eke out a win with the penalty goals. And to my surprise, the Hurricanes had an opportunity to kick 3 points with about 5 minutes left, maybe less than that, to level the game, 20 points apiece. And instead, they decided to go for the scrum, a center field scrum. Now, I thought this was really ballsy. I thought maybe just the tap or maybe just going for the line out would have been slightly better because there's no definite advantage in the scrummaging, but the Hurricanes decided for the center field scrum. It's understandable why they did that. Having 8 of the 4-pack jammed into the middle of the field opens up options for both sides of the field to play. And the scrum came out. Cameron Roigard got the ball out and he kind of like looped around a little bit and he threw the ball to nobody into the touch judge on the sideline. And yeah, at that point, it was kind of like, yeah, maybe the Hurricanes should have taken the 3, could have lost this one. But hey, that is the important part. The important part is not the fact that even if the Hurricanes lost this game, the important part is not the fact that they could have taken 3 points and taken the game into the draw. The important part is that they backed themselves to try to win the game. And that is the mentality you need to become a great international test player. And for someone like Cameron Roigard to kind of, take upon himself to try to make a move from the scrum is like, it's exactly the experience that he needs to take him to that next level. And a lot of New Zealand fans already think that this guy is the #1 halfback in the world, ahead of Anton Dupont, but I think he's definitely got the, not quite yet ahead of Anton Dupont, but he's definitely got the quality to get there. And I think one of the most important aspect of his personal development is that mental strength. And this game and that final bit of play is really a testament to him developing and growing as a player. Even if they lost this game, the fact that they went for it, I would have been pretty happy for the team overall from a long-term perspective, especially if you're an All Black fan. You will want to see them do that. You don't want to see the players, not challenging themselves and then just try to eke out a draw, and that would have been pretty, if that was a penalty goal to win the game, I couldn't understand, but to kick the penalty goal to draw the game would have been, pretty soft option in my opinion. And then, sure enough, the players backed themselves some more. Highlanders had a line-out throwing inside around their own 22, not straight. Hurricanes taking a quick tap, piled in. 22 phases later, Cameron Roigard, the guy that made the mistake from the scrum, passing the ball out to the touch judge, picked and go for himself, dunked the ball in under the post for the win. Now that is character, that is personal development, and that is what you need to make a great All Black in the future. And I was really, really pleased to see that. And I think a lot of All Black fans who probably preferred that than kicking 3 points and try to milk out a draw. I know they're going to play for golden point, but and then try to go for drop goals, and just, not really the situation you want to be in. I think the Hurricanes kind of learned that when they draw with the Western Force, they don't really want to do that again. They'd rather challenge themselves and maybe get a loss than, taking a, soft option and hoping for a drop goal. And I think that is the right mentality. I think that is a good mentality, and that is an excellent shift for a lot of the youngsters going into, becoming All Blacks in the future. Players like Ruben Love, Roigard is already, I think Ruben Love has a game in the All Blacks, or maybe not. But like, especially players like Roigard developing into that next, big test level superstar, and he needs these sort of experiences. For the Highlanders, really good at the start of the game, and then just the game after the game staled, capitulated a little bit, started going side to side, and just really went into a shell a little bit, I think. And I think that is the problem with the Highlanders for the whole season. When the game got a bit tough, they kind of just, starting to try to manage the game instead of trying to push through the capitulation to try to win the game. And I think that's they almost got it. They almost managed the win. But it's even if they do manage the game for a win, I would still think it's not a good way to go, especially if you want to improve as a player, improve as a team for the future. And especially if you wanted to move up to the next level, to the All Blacks level, trying to kick 3 points to milk out a win is not really enough. You have to push yourself out of the comfort zone, and I just don't think the Highlanders done enough to do that. But they did really good to can themselves in there tight, and it almost paid out for them. But I think in the long run, my opinion, not really a big fan of that sort of style. Anyway, match stats of the game: 3 tries to 2 to the Hurricanes, 549 run minutes to 361. The Hurricanes tried really hard the whole game. I never really wanted to just, really tried to score tries. And the Highlanders played a much more of a managing style. 17 turnovers against the Hurricanes, 15 against the Highlanders. 134 tackles made for the Hurricanes, 20 missed tackles. 201 tackles made by the Highlanders, 28 missed tackles. Here's where the game management came in: 21 kicks in play by the Hurricanes, 33 for the Highlanders. Hurricanes had there was a really nice 50-22 in the second half as well. So some of the accuracy on the kicking is probably a little bit better from the Hurricanes. But I do think that I think in terms of game management, I think the Highlanders definitely try to do more of that when it comes to kicking. 957 kick meters to the 654 for the Hurricanes. Now the lineouts. 4 lineouts lost for Hurricanes out of 16. That is pretty bad. I think something that the coaching staff will have a look at. 2 losses as well for themselves, for the Highlanders, and one of the 2 was not straight in front of the goal, just before the full time, which led to them losing the game. Pretty heartbreaking there. Scrums quite even, 5-7. I thought, it was quite even. Again, the referee wasn't entertaining any of scrum penalties for the game. I thought it was, Ethan de Groot had a pretty good run out there, but it's not too much to say there. And then finally, the penalty count: 9 to the Highlanders, and 9 to the Hurricanes. There was 1 yellow card to Tava Nawai, head-on-head collision with I think it was with Ruben Love on the jaw, big one, and was sent over the yellow. Both player ducking, so just a yellow card, no upgrade to red. So let's have a quick recap of the play of the game. So the game went from scored the first minute and scored in the last minute of the game to kind of finish it off. Right from the start, the Highlanders immediately what happened? Got a line-out penalty from a turnover. They went for the more, just pick and go, and eventually what's his name? John Alo runs in, reached over for the try. 7 points to nil to the Highlanders. 11 minutes in, the Highlanders gets themselves a penalty. They went for the line out, and they went for the more, and the ball kind of again just really nice hands. There was I think who was it? It was some guy. The ball kind of went out to Ruben Love and passed one of the a crash ball runner got the crash and quickly popped the ball off the ground, and then Ruben Love flung the ball over to Sullivan, who ran into about 3 defenders and still went over for the try. He literally ran through 3 defenders for this one. 7 points to 7. And then after this one, 17 minutes, another Highlanders try. One of the, what was his name? Talea ran on the sideline. He bumped over one of the defenders and just started running down the sideline, kind of free, and he popped the ball back in his field to Nipkins, and Nipkins threw the ball back, to Lowe to Nipkins, Nipkins back to Lowe, and Lowe went in for the try. This was about 75 meters for the Highlanders in counter-attack, and suddenly the scoreboard is 14 points to 7. Tava Nawai was sent off a few minutes after this, and then the Highlanders did really well to not concede any points during this 10-minute period where they were playing against 14 players. Halftime score 14 points to 7, and that was pretty much it. Second half starts 46 minutes. Cameron Roigard gets his first try and the second try for the Hurricanes, there was a nice little, hands from Roigard to over the top to his own player, and then there was a nice little line break. Brad Shields followed up with the line break with a nice clean out. He kind of like grabbed out 2 players from the clean out, so maybe a little bit of disruption there, but he taken out 2 players from the clean out, and then Roigard got the ball, popped off the ground, ran straight through for the try, 14 points to 14, and then 54 minutes into the game, it looked like the Hurricanes scored again. There was some nice hands, a big long pass out wide to, what's his name? The winger, Fainoku, I think his name is. What's his name? Yeah, this guy, Fainga Notfo, like, just, he looked like he ran through and for the try, and then it was denied because the last pass was forward. But I just want to say that this guy was really, really strong out there. Like, he was pumping over people, like, he was really strong. Just some of the big carries that he did, just really, really physical stuff, and looked quite good out there, to be honest. After Sullivan came off, he really did his job to carry like the winger position for the Highlanders, for the Hurricanes. Do a lot of work there, but that was denied. And then after this, the Highlanders kicked the goal at 67 minutes to pull themselves 3 points ahead. Sorry, the Hurricanes kicked themselves the first goal, 14 points to 7, and then 67 minutes, Highlanders kick a goal, 17 points apiece, and then 71 minutes, Highlanders kick another one, 20 points to 17. 76 minutes, Hurricanes got a penalty right in front, and they went for the scrum, and Roigard threw the water bound, and then just before full time, Highlanders lost their own line-out throw to a not straight, and then Roigard taking a quick tap, and then, a lot of players piling on. 22 faces later, Cameron Roigard pick and go himself for the try under the post, win the game, redeeming that missed pass earlier on to potentially which could have cost them the game. So yeah, really, really good. Let me know your thoughts about this game. I thought this was a great finish to the Hurricanes and great experience to the young players in terms of development. And I think that to bring out the next generation of All Blacks, this is the kind of games that you need. You need a lot of these players to go through these sort of experiences. And I'm really glad that they didn't just kick penalty goal and hoping for a drop goal in golden time. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Cheers.